Hi, so welcome to a real quick video about 3C mapping ocean currents. I wanted to kind of give you some directions with this. It is a very complicated activity with lots and lots of steps. So I'm going to kind of give you some suggestions on how to view this and maybe um, help you with how to process through this activity. So this activity, you're going to apply the information about the ocean conveyor belt to predict the movement of a spill of rubber ducks in the ocean. So it would be really helpful if you had red and blue colored pencils or red and blue highlighters or red and blue markers. The red is going to be representative of hot water and the blue is going to be representative of colder water. And then two other kinds of colored pencils or pens. Um, I do have a map for you, and the article is also included. You're going to want to make sure you have a hard copy of this. I have the hard copies in class. Hopefully, you can pick those up and be able to do it there. It's pretty hard to do it electronically. So here's the instructions. You're going to use red and blue colored pencils to draw ocean currents on a world map. This is a depiction of the ocean currents called the ocean conveyor belt, which we've already talked about. The ocean conveyor belt is caused by differences in water temperature and salinity is salt content. Also known as the thermohaline circulation, the conveyor belt is a system in which water moves between the cold depths and the warm surface in oceans throughout the world. So you're going to do number one, and what it says is use red and blue colored pencils to draw ocean currents on a world map. So I'm going to scroll to the world map. Here's the world map. So when I print this, I can only print it in black and white. I'm not permitted to print it in colored. So on your black and white, you're going to want to replicate this and color the red with your red color pencil and the blue with the blue color pencil. And then once you scroll down, you can take a look. We've got red and blue, and we've got some black. So you're going to color the red red and the blue blue. If you want to Google a different map, you can Google a different map, but I would also make sure that you have the key color coded down there too. So I would pause at this point in time and complete number one. All right, so you've got number one completed. Number two, you're going to mark the location of the 1992 cargo ship spill of rubber ducks. So think about this. You know, the little yellow rubber duckies that little kids play with in the bathtub. You're going to mark 44 North, 178 East on your map. At this location in 1992, a cargo ship full of bath toys spilled nearly 92,000 rubber ducks into the Pacific Ocean. These ducks traveled thousands of miles on ocean currents, providing new information about these currents. For example, the first group of ducks made landfall washed up on the shores of Alaska. So what you need to do now that you've got your ocean currents red and blue, you're going to go and find 44 north latitude and 178 east longitude. So I'm going to scroll back to the map. And this one has latitude, but it does not have longitude. So you're going to have to Google a map and find the longitudes. So if we take a look, this 0 is the equator, and all the latitudes above it are called north latitudes, and all the latitudes below it are called south latitudes. And if you take a look, 0 to 30, halfway between 30 is 15. So this halfway mark would be 15 all the way across. I can't draw a straight line. So then halfway in between that is 15. So 30 plus 15 is 45. So 44 is about 45. So we're going to look at a line halfway in between 60 and 30 all the way across. And we're going to know that the ducks did not end up on the middle of a continent, right? They probably ended up along the shore of one of these continents. So now what your next step is going to do is you're going to need to find the longitude. And I'm going to say it runs probably, the prime meridian is probably right around here somewhere, and east would be on this side of it, on the left side. So you're going to I'm going to guess it's somewhere around here. is going to be 178. So where those two longitude and latitudes intersect, you're going to put a dot. And I'm going to assume that it's going to be in the middle of an ocean. And I believe, if I'm correct, it's in the Pacific Ocean. And you could put a dot somewhere here along the Alaskan coast. I'm not sure exactly where. They didn't give me a longitude yet, but they first showed up there. So that is number 2. Pause for a moment and get that done. All right, so you paused, you got number 1 done, you got number 2. Number 3, it says apply the ocean conveyor belt information to predict the movement of rubber ducks. So your job is to predict where the rubber ducks traveled based on the ocean conveyor belt. Mark the map with a different color where you think these ducks washed up on shore. So what I need you to do is you're going to make 7 predictions. 7. Okay, so if I scroll down here and the ducks, I don't know, they maybe fell off the boat right here where my cursor's at. Right here where okay, let's try this again. Where my cursor is at right here. So if they fell off here, I'm going to bet they hopped on this conveyor, this current right here, and here's my first guess right here. And maybe they hopped on here and they ended up coming over here and they landed here. I don't know. You're going to come up with 7 places. And I'm going to say I should not see dots in the middle of continents because the ocean doesn't go in the middle of a continent. Okay? So you're making predictions. These are guesses. You could be 100% wrong. You could be 100% right. It doesn't matter to me. I want to see that you put the effort in to make the prediction. Pause here and make your 7 predictions. All right, so here's the next thing. 4, it says test your prediction by reading about the duck's actual path. Read about where the ducks traveled using the Port Technology article, How Rubber Ducks Reveal the Ocean Currents. Mark these locations on the map using different colored markers, and then markers then used during the prediction. So now you're going to pick a different color, and I need you to actually go through this article here and read through this article. And I would suggest that wherever it has a location, like Hong Kong, you're going to highlight the places. So as you read through it, learn more about these ducks, learn more about what happened, and anywhere that you come by a location, a city, a state, a country, highlight it, okay? And then what you're going to go, after you're done, what you're going to do is you're going to go back and you're going to plot those points with a different color ink on here. Now, I don't know where Hong Kong is. I forget. I used to know. I'm going to guess it's over here somewhere because it's got to be on a coast, because I know it's on the coast of Asia. You might need to Google a map of countries or cities of countries so you know where some of these places are, okay? But you're going to plot those points. So that's number 4, okay? Then what I want you to do, and the directions aren't on here, is after you plot those points in the reading, I want you to take the first 7 or pick 7 and tell me which ones you chose. So number 1, I'm going to choose Hong Kong, and I'll write Hong Kong. And then it'll say ocean currents my rubber duck traveled. So now what I have to do is I have to go back up to this ocean. And if Hong Kong, I don't know if it's here, but we'll pretend it's here. So if Hong Kong is here, now I have to talk about the currents that got it from, I don't know, here all the way over here. So I'm going to say if it fell, one of the currents is the North Pacific, and then it went to the California, and then North Equatorial, and then it came over here to, I don't know how to pronounce that. So I'm going to list those on the ocean currents my rubber duck traveled with Hong Kong. So I'll say it started in Hong Kong, and then I'm going to list the currents that it traveled. And then I'm going to talk about the oceans it went through. Might go through one ocean, might stay in one ocean, might go through several oceans, I don't know. And then the countries the rubber ducky passed by. So the oceans, so this is the Pacific Ocean, and this is the Pacific Ocean, so it just stayed in one ocean. And the countries it went by, let's see, it went by North America and Central America. And then, is this Japan right there, maybe? Wonder what, I don't remember what those islands are. And then it went over here to Asia. So I'm probably going to need another map to get me some more details. Okay, so you're going to go through, and the article has many more places than just 7. You pick the 7 that you want to talk about. So you're going to have to state to me the city or the country or whatever's mentioned in the article. And then you have to tell me the currents. Might be 1 current, might be 3 currents, might be 10 currents, I don't know. And then the oceans, it could be 1 ocean current, could be multiple ocean currents. Oceans. And then the countries, it probably is going to have more than 1 country. So you're going to do that for 7 of them. And this is going to take some time. Reading the article and highlighting is going to take some time. Filling out this chart is going to take some time. It is meant to take time. And once you get done with all of that, you're going to make sure that you give me some analysis here. How was your predictions compared to what actually was mentioned in the article? Were you really close? Were you really far away? Were some of them close? Were some of them far away? Give me some examples. Give me some evidence about how accurate you were. Okay? Remember, this is a level 3 activity. This is going to take some higher level thinking. This is not just flat out memorizing and regurgitating information. This is actually learning and using and critical thinking. So this should be a challenge to you. It should cause you to slow down and think about what you're doing. This should take you some time to do. If you have questions or problems, make sure you stop in to see me anytime.